welcome back to the series of the B1 exam. Today we're going to talk about the writing exam. This is the final part we're going to be talking about. So this is made out of 3 parts. We've got a first part, which is sentence transformation. In this one you will have a group of sentences that are in pairs. So each pair contains a full sentence, and the second one is a sentence with a blank. This blank is missing a word or something, or 1 to 3 words, so it could mean the same thing as the first sentence. Your job is to write the correct words to make this first sentence have the same meaning as the second one. Now, how do you do this? A good tip is first to think about what grammar point they're testing. So think, are they testing passive versus active voice? Are they testing present perfect, etc.? Okay, so the first tip is just think about the grammar point they are testing. Then think, what words can I use? Do I need to use the same word as above but conjugate it differently, or do I need to choose a new word, right? So in this case it would be a vocabulary change, the grammar point they're testing, if you have to change the word. Okay, that's part number 1. Now part 2, we've got a short piece of writing. So we've got sometimes or usually an email from an English friend, right? So this says, write an email to your English friend that's going to visit your country and tell him that you are happy that he's coming, tell him an activity you're suggesting for you to do, and tell him what kind of food he likes, right? So in this exercise, you'll have 3 things to do. It's always going to be 3 things, and you must make sure you do address all those 3 points you have to include in your writing, okay? Also, this is only 35 to 45 words. So be very, very concise, but make sure, again, you address all the points, and make sure you do add some transition words in there so it's not just getting to the point in a really rough way, okay? Try to be as smooth as possible using linking words, okay? And make sure that your tone is informal. If it says write to a friend or a pen pal, all of these things, this is informal writing. So make sure you're keeping it informal. Don't say, for example, dear Miss Claire, okay? If she's your friend, you're just going to say dear Claire, for example. Now, moving on to the third part of writing, we have 2 options here. So you can either write a letter, again, to an English friend. So all the texts that you have to write in the B1 exam are going to be informal. So simple, easy. So you have an option between a letter or a story, okay? Usually they're gonna tell you, start your story with this sentence, or the title of your story has to be this. And in this piece of writing, you have to write about 100 words. Make sure you write about that number. Don't do less or more, because either or is bad. So just make sure around 100, okay? The story or the letter, I recommend you plan, okay? So planning before this is very important, because it's a long piece of writing, and sometimes in the middle of the writing, when you have 50 words already, you decide to add something that you forgot to add at the beginning, and then your writing gets messy, and you don't want this. So make sure you plan. So first brainstorm, first think of some ideas of what you want to write about, then choose some of those ideas, make some notes, write some keywords, and then prepare and start writing, okay? So planning is key here. It is very obvious when people plan and when they don't. We as examiners or teachers, we can see when you have planned, because your story flows very smoothly, or when you haven't and it's just like throwing things in there. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so planning is important, especially writing. Even if it's the short email I told you earlier, plan, okay? Everything is planning. And that's it. So just try to include linking words, make sure everything flows, and that's it. Good luck.